Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyler and we are going to be setting another monthly TBR. I fully gone ahead and embraced the fall aesthetic today, even though it is 89 degrees here in Florida. Fall is a mindset. I'm hoping we can get some fun fall fantasies to add to the TBR this month. You would have seen from the intro, we're doing something a little bit different today. Very much inspired by Rachel Catherine and all the book girlies. I went ahead and printed quite a few TBR prompts, I think about 30. And our TBR prompt jar is going to help us choose our books for the month ahead. So let's go ahead and choose our first book. Two stuck together, but prompt number 1. Okay, this should be pretty easy. Starts with the word the, which I feel like a lot of books start with this word, so that should be pretty easy. I already have one in mind. It's one I have planned for the reading vlog ahead. I already have it on hold from Libby. Our first book is going to be The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I won't tell you exactly what the reading vlog is, but there is a theme and that book is involved. Recently, I read When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. She writes cute closed door adult romances, so nothing too spicy, but just like cute and wholesome. I rated both books 3 to 3.5 stars, so I'm not totally obsessed, but they're definitely very enjoyable. Main thing I know about The Cheat Sheet is that it's a sports romance. I believe our female main character is in love with a guy, but he is unaware. She's kind of been stuck forever in the friend zone. One night she gets too drunk, spills the beans that she has feelings for him, and then they start fake dating. I think that's the vibe. But I'm excited to expand my sports romance reading because so far I think I've only read hockey romances. Some of them have been hits, some of them have been misses. So we'll see how a football romance goes. Time for book number 2. The prompt is, I seriously can't read that. What does this say? A novella. Oh, okay, perfect. This is a very good one to get because again, I know exactly what I want to read. I just finished. And when I say I just finished, I mean last night at 1 a.m. I finished reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night. There's a little novella that comes right after it in the series called 6 Scorched Roses. I don't believe we follow the same main characters in this novella, but regardless, I'm very excited. It's a fantasy romance involving vampires. There's honestly like a Hunger Games trial. There's this goddess of death called Nyaxia. It's a whole thing. If you want to hear my thoughts about the first book, I'll go more in detail in my August wrap up, so make sure to check out that video. Let's hop to book number 3. Book number 3 will be a 5-star prediction. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm being so honest with you guys. I don't know if any of these are a 5-star prediction right here. I do have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So far, 2 of the 3 books I've read by Emily Henry, I've given 5 stars. However, I feel like People We Meet on Vacation is not a fan favorite. Typically, people say this is their least favorite. So do I take a chance? I do just love Emily Henry's writing style. It does something to my brain. This book is about 2 friends who every year would go on a vacation together. However, 2 years ago, something happened and they haven't gone on a trip since, but somehow our female main character convinces him to go on one last trip, and I assume with this being a contemporary romance, they fall in love. That is probably the world's most watered down summary you will ever hear of this book. But let's roll with it. We're adding People We Meet on Vacation to the TBR. Book number 4. This one is a yellow cover. Do I even have a yellow color? This seems like the closest, but this seems like orange to me. I don't think this qualifies as yellow. This has some yellow in it, but I wouldn't call this a yellow cover. Again, this has some yellow in it, but this is a blue cover. Okay, we might be going to the Kindle. Let me look at my want to read list, Kindle Unlimited, and see what we can find. Okay, found one that is definitely yellow and is included on Kindle Unlimited. We are going to be reading Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, which is the 3rd book in the Friend Zone interconnected standalone series. I've not read book 1 of this series, but I have read book 2, which was the Happy Ever After playlist. Gave that 4 stars. It was very cute. Now moving on to book 3, we follow a woman, Vanessa, who quits her job and becomes YouTube famous. However, her half-sister suddenly leaves Vanessa in custody of her infant daughter. And then her grumpy neighbor, Adrian, is like the baby whisperer as she adjusts to this new life. Helps her out, and then again, I imagine they fall in love. Okay, so far we have 3 romances, 1 fantasy. Not exactly how I wanted this month to go. I'm hoping our TBR jar will be able to deliver a few more fantasy before we're done. Book 5 is a Kindle Unlimited pick. Luckily, that gives us quite a bit more wiggle room. For a fantasy on Kindle Unlimited, I think I'm gonna go with Divine Rivals. I had this picked for my May TBR and I just never got around to it. Didn't really have a specific reason why. I've only heard amazing things about this book and that it's kind of a cozier fantasy, which seems perfect for the fall time. I know it's kind of a rivals to lovers story between these 2 journalists who are fighting for this same position at their paper. But then the fantasy element comes through. There's this magical typewriter where our female main character writes these letters to who she thinks is her brother. However, the male main character receives the letters and their love story kind of gets started through these letters. Luckily, it's only a duology, so I can continue on, finish it out pretty quickly, because one thing that I have been extremely bad at recently is starting series and not finishing them. So I'm in the middle of like 20 different series right now, and that's kind of a problem. This book honestly could have been a contender for the 5-star prediction prompt as well. I imagine that's going to be a good one. Continuing on, our next prompt will be published this year. Okay, I do know Just for the Summer was published this year, but I already have a bit too much romance. I'm not really wanting to go for that. When was Girl Abroad published? Girl Abroad was published this year, but I do think, yeah, this is a romance. I don't really want a romance. I'm trying to think of what is a fantasy that has been published this year. Okay, I found a book that's been published this year that is going to be dropped off by Amazon in a few hours. So I'll get another physical TBR book on the list. It is not a fantasy, but it does have more mystery to it, and I've wanted to read this for a really long time. It's called The Blonde Identity by Ali Carter. One thing to know about me is as a kid, I was obsessed with the Gallagher Girls YA series. It was about this group of girls who was in a spy boarding school called like the Gallagher Academy. As a kid, I probably read all of those books 5 to 7 times. I was obsessed. I still have them in my bookshelf because I just don't have the heart to get rid of them. But apparently this story, The Blonde Identity, is kind of like an adult version of that series. And I hold that series so near and dear to my heart. Even if it's written badly, I think I'll probably still love it. And the title, The Blonde Identity, is kind of a playoff of the movie, The Bourne Identity. Our female main character wakes up with amnesia. She can't remember how she got there. She can't remember who she is. She wakes up next to this guy, and I think people are trying to kill them. So they just have to like learn how to survive together. There might be a romance subplot to it as well, but what I'm most excited for is the mystery aspect of it. And I'm just so excited for all of the nostalgia feels. Next prompt will be even page number. Okay, that shouldn't be too bad. We should have a couple options here. I am a bit curious about The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I'm going to go to the last page of the story. I'm not going to include like the acknowledgements or the author's note or anything like that. So the actual last page of the story is page 308, which meets our even page number prompt. This is also not a fantasy, but I think a mystery will be a nice change of pace. I already have the whole box set of the Natural series. This has been described as a YA Criminal Minds. This group of teenagers get paired together in the FBI to solve cold cases. With this only being 308 pages, YA, I think it's going to be a really quick read. I'm also going to use this as an introduction to actual mystery novels because I am scared to read just like a full-blown mystery thriller. Book number 7. Last prompt, let's see what she will be. This says a 2-word title. Okay, so unfortunately that last book could have been used for this one, The Naturals, but I actually have something else in mind that will be a good fit. So another book I want to read in an upcoming reading vlog is Mile High, which is another sports romance. Now, I have heard that within this series, Mile High is everyone's least favorite because the guy, I've heard, is a little bit unlikable. However, I'm willing to get through this first book because I've heard that the next book in the series, The Right Move, is just hands down 5 stars. The male main character is an automatic book boyfriend, and I want to read about that. So we're gonna be brave, and we're gonna possibly get through a bad book so that I can get to the good. Another bonus, it's on Kindle Unlimited. So that means this month we are not needing to buy any new books. We are either utilizing our physical TBR, utilizing the library, or finding things on Kindle Unlimited. We love to see it. I feel like at the end of this TBR, we do have a little bit of diversity. So we have 4 just solely romances, 2 fantasies, 1 YA mystery, and then 1 mystery romance fiction bundle up. Okay guys, another TBR in the books, another fun month ahead. I am going to do my best to try and incorporate as many of these books as possible in reading vlogs throughout the month. So make sure to like, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.